Hey, Pat B.
JM the Thriller. Ooh, my bad. We don't mess
we
this all
go in
up.
order. It's preordained.
I was ready.
Right.
I was ready.
And this is the Geek Down here on WEMF
I went in
Radio.
order for 5 years, man.
Thank you. Okay, Tom, that sounds horrendous. I'm getting the buzz and everything. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Geek Down here on WEMF. I am Pat B. Sorry for the late start. We have technical difficulties up the waz here. And then we have societal difficulties up the waz here. Starting off with the dyslexic order of these suckers. All right, now I'm gonna do the roll call.
Go ahead.
Okay? I am Pat B. On the side of me is my man, my homeboy, my main.
Sorry for being introduced first for the past like 5, 6, 7 years. You know what I mean? I get it out of my head.
You
You're
got
right.
an order
It's
though,
my
man. For the pre-show, it's 1, 2. Well, it's in order
It's-
here.
it's
Start
right
the show
to
and
left.
We're
then
getting some
one,
dank behind
right.
the scenes
And
knowledge
then
here
peanut
for our
gallery.
listeners
I
and
know.
viewers.
Maybe I do. I missed the roll call. My bad. Don't take your headphones
No,
off.
they'll never know.
I made you disappointed. All right.
He's ready to fight. He took the headphones off.
Can I
Put the
be
roll
Pat
the
B then?
sleeves.
You cannot be Pat B.
You cannot be. You don't have the voice.
You can
You're
be
not
all
ever
right.
gonna get
I can
there.
be
Thriller
Pat.
Priest was coming for the throne just now.
I noticed that. What's going on here?
I went in order. You looked towards my direction when you said, I'm Pat B. You kind of gave me that side eye, like, come on, bro. You know by now. We go in line. I was like, I'm ready to get in.
You know what we got here? You know what we got
It's a
here?
mutiny.
Okay, no, we got
It is a mutiny.
we got Black Don Imus and our own Charlemagne the
Oh,
God.
wait,
That's what's
wait,
going
wait,
on.
wait.
Yeah, that's what's happening. All right.
I ain't saying racist stuff on the internet.
I was gonna
If
say,
they
All
get
you
my
gotta do
job-
is be talking smack about Tuneshi 6ix9ine, and then
All
we'll be
right.
alright.
Ladies
Don't
and
talk
gentlemen,
about my wife.
Welcome to another episode of the Geek Down here on WEMF. I am Pat B. To the side of me is my main man, Black Adam Willis.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to run down properly. We have JM the Thriller Priest,
Peace, peace.
Mix Macabre,
Hello.
Rick Olive.
You?
You got to find something more catchy, man.
I like Rick Olive.
It's
It's like
a good
it's
name.
like it's like
It
it's like a
doesn't roll off
porn
the
name.
tongue.
It sounds like a
No,
porn
no,
name.
you know what you need?
Rick Olive.
Okay.
With the sideburns and the
Yeah.
70s stash.
Here's your mission should you choose to accept it. You give that a preface, okay? Blank Rick Olive. Are you ravishing Rick Olive?
Ooh.
Are you
Ravishing Rick Olive.
Ravishing Rick Olive.
Yeah, something
not bad.
like that.
That's it.
I like
Actually,
that.
kind of like
That's
that.
it, actually. Yeah.
So I got to do the.
You got to do the swivel hip. You
Yeah,
got to do it.
there you go. You got a signature move. You're ready.
Yeah.
You got to.
I got to hit the gym for like 2 more years.
Ravishing Rick Olive.
I mean,
no
it's 2 more
longer-
years.
It's no longer a family-friendly show. And of course, over there, he's got a zen-like focus, unbreakable. Just Johnny. I don't know what that noise is.
It's a greeting of some sort.
That's him losing his goddamn mind is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an action-packed, fun-filled show for you. We have the inside stuff on Anime Boston 2018.
Mm-hmm.
All that good nerd stuff.
Yep.
Don't be feigned by the excitement in their voice, okay? They got the good,
No, it's
good.
great. I loved it.
Yeah, right?
We'll talk about it.
All right. Also, dude, I got to check out Game Over, man. No one else in the house
You
did.
did. You're right. Yeah.
Yes, we
Yeah.
did.
I watched a
right.
solid
I-
20 minutes.
I
of
saw the
that.
whole thing,
All
fam.
right.
Everyone
Yeah.
said that about the movie. Like, yeah, I got a half hour of it.
Yeah,
25
I had about
minutes is
30
what I
minutes.
got.
No,
It's
I
like,
chipped
yeah,
I
let's
chipped
go.
it through to the end because of P trying to call me out last week saying
That's right.
my professionalism
Took
wasn't up to
notes.
par.
Because you
I
were
know.
eating a
I took
sandwich while
notes.
watching the movie. How dare you,
This
sir?
fool
I
says
took
on
notes.
this fool says on air, yeah,
Don't
it's
even
something
do
I was doing while I did my laundry. You know,
That
I
is
caught
not
it.
what I said.
I heard it from the other room.
That is not what I said.
That's
That is
not
what
he said.
Adam
I said,
Yeah.
I said this is a movie you should watch while doing laundry. And he admitted that he was actually having food while watching a movie,
Exactly.
which is
This-
an
I had it
acceptable thing.
playing in the other room
It
while I
is.
sat down to dinner.
Yeah.
No,
So, but the question is, were you in
no.
the kitchen listening to it while you were making
That's
the
not
sandwich?
true. He said he was eating. He didn't say he
Exactly
was in
true.
the
That
other
is
room.
a good point, sir. Thank you.
No, I have my
That's
iPad
the
in front of
question.
me with a sandwich in my hand, watching while eating. Well, that's all I was doing.
Man.
This movie, Game Over, man, I took notes. I know what's going on. I give
It's
it a
the world's
backstory.
Let me,
shortest
find out you were,
notebook.
let me find out you were handing out baptisms while you were watching this thing on the side.
Passing them out.
Like 3 words in that book. It's
He's
like,
like, yeah,
just
by the
throw it
way-
in the water. But it's all
There's a
right.
bunch of doodles in there.
It's like gatto with a cat ears and stuff. Yeah.
All
Your
right.
notes are great.
Well, in addition to that, we have Aperian Cyberstorm, a name that I have to slow down every time I say it. But Johnny, tell me if I'm right or not. This looked like a Defender brought into like the 21st century. Am I correct?
No,
Okay.
no. It's
Well,
it's like Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet meets Tron.
That sounds like Defender. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, well, you will give us the inside stuff in a bit. This man got to play that on, was it Twitch or was it Steam?
It was on the Switch and on Steam.
Oh snap! You played it on both. Gangsta like that.
Well, I played it on the Switch, but it's available on
Come
both.
on, man. I'm giving you props and stuff. How you going cut the undercut?
I played it on both with my mind.
That's right. That's right. You hear that? You hear that, Jay? Man who did his job. All right.
But you don't
After
know.
that-
You know, Johnny. He's probably eating cheesy bacon bits while he was doing it.
Yeah, you know, Johnny sprinkles his apples with cheese, then just like looks at him. He doesn't eat
And
it. He just looks at him.
And
And chocolate. Lots of chocolate.
And mind
Cheese,
you, for our
chocolate.
next review, for the last thing you're about to introduce, I actually see that movie 3 times.
Three
and read the
times.
book 3 times.
That's right.
More prep than you did, fam, for the next
Real?
review. What are we going to review
I saw
now?
it twice.
What are we going to review now?
Brother, okay, when I read Ready Player One, I had Obama himself dictating after me. Okay, now you in your jealous
So
rage.
Percival decided
been
to.
Obama rolls up in after this crime.
It was
I think
like
he had his Jerry curl at that point too, right? Was that when he had?
when he was smoking a joint on the
He just got off an interview with Anthony Bourdain, and he was coming in.
Hey now, don't sleep on Dario.
How about Cherry Coke? It's better than normal Coke too,
And then that
right?
joint was like 3 extra hours longer than mine when I listened to Will Wheaton read it, all right? Quill Wheaton read it.
Yeah. Will Wheaton? You mean?
Shut up, Wesley. All right, it was Ready
You know,
Player
he
One, and
blocks
we were
anyone
talking
that
about.
says him that on Twitter.
I don't blame him. Imagine your career,
if you
his
say that, he
prestigious
blocks you.
film career is marred by all these random like 12-year-olds coming up. I just saw TNG for the first time. Hey, shut up, old man. He's like 56. Like, you know what, you little motherfucker. He is like 56.
He really is.
I feel bad for
Oh,
him.
you guys are
That's like-
sad.
No.
Alright,
It's a great.
yeah.
What messed up is he did this brilliant movie about a cat who works in a toll booth back in like 2002. No one ever talks about that, but TNG is on every other weekend with that same episode, and you see this dude in this skinny ass sweater talking about I can't
You
quite
bought
get it
me
down,
that sweater.
Captain. And it looks
I remember.
fantastic.
I was there. I
It's a
seen
good
it.
sweater.
Yeah, we
Stand by
got.
me, all right, too.
All right, but we have an
Stand by me.
action-packed, fun-filled show for you. We're gonna jump right into it. Again, I
Yes.
apologize for the late start, but we'll make it up to you right now. I kick it over to the one and only Mix Macabre
Yes.
because they got to check out Anime Boston 2018.
I sure did, and I want to start off right off the bat to
By getting
say,
extra nasally there for some reason. What happened?
I don't know.
She's
Honestly.
like, I sure did. I did.
Well, I have to
Sounds
commune
like-
with my fellow weeaboos so
Oh,
that they can like understand me better.
All right, my
On
bad.
their
Let me
level.
get you my asthma pump. You can continue. Like-
So
Anime Boston.
I just want to start off by saying that I almost want to use the term proud of Anime Boston because they really got their act together, I think, this year, just from last year and a few previous years, with organization, registration line, for example. For those who don't know, Anime Boston has notoriously taken a very, very long time to run registration. They've had really ridiculous lines to get into panels. Things seemed a lot more organized this year. They also stepped up content-wise. They had a lot more
Yeah, you were talking about
content that's for like people over the age of 18 in the evenings. And I'm not even talking about like, you know, the good hentai or anything. I'm talking about just panels like content, discussion panels, nostalgic screening. They had things that made
I went to this
more
over
than
18
just
panel.
kids.
Oh my God, what do you see? I saw
saw
Grandizer.
there was a boob.
It was a boob.
One
It was,
boob.
it was a robot
A
with
single
boob
boob.
rockets.
Robot with boob rocket. No, so, but there was one of the things I went to actually, to be a little more specific, things that I enjoyed. They actually had a fan creation theater, so it was like it was all like, you know, fan videos and stuff like overdubs and whatnot. So they had a screening of AMV Hell 7. And for those who don't know, AMV Hell videos are like, you know, clips from anime set to different songs, like rap music or like, you know, overdubbed with something ridiculous, and it was just a ton of fun. It was packed room.
Well, we
it
were
was
talking
super
about
funny.
that. I discovered AMV Hell a few years ago. It's actually a good way to learn about a lot of new animes that you
They
missed.
use a lot of
sure.
the weird or
Mhm, mhm.
obscure animes,
Yeah.
and it was a lot of fun. Because some of it's a mix of like some things are overdubbed, like maybe there'll be like a silly commercial, but like set to an anime. But some of it is just clips from the weirder animes that one can find, and it was a real highlight for me just to have that particular theater, and it was just dedicated to showing that type of material. Like they had,
Well, on a big screen, you got to see people playing soccer with their butts.
yeah, pretty much, and they had like something that they showed that a lot of people love. I'm not very big into free, but a lot of people are because it's one of those like pretty boy, like, oh, we're swimmers and look at our.
Wait,
Hunky
you're not
swim-
into free?
It was kind of boring. I like the shark tooth one. I like Ran.
We
but I don't
reviewed
love-
that a couple of years ago, by the way. Guest reviewer, oh, doggone it, from the Vienna Pitch. Why am I forgetting this? Nina, thank you.
Nina.
Nina Fed,
It
shout
was
out.
okay.
I was
It was
about
okay.
Nicole, my fault.
But they had a show. There's a show called, and it was called 50% Off. So it was like a funny dub of it. And they did, they had a bunch of different abridged. Like they showed JoJo's Bizarre Adventure abridged, which is very, very, very funny. Where they like condense the episodes to like 5 minutes long, and it's all like super funny overdubs.
Why do I imagine a condensed episode of JoJo's Bizarre
A lot of
Adventure
punching.
is like
a lot of punching,
boom,
man.
and then just like another 4 minutes to do with the cherry.
Just, boy, and then just roundabout starts playing.
Yeah.
But like that's the other thing. Cosplay this year, really a lot of great cosplay. The meetups that they had, they really organized the photo shoot locations very, very well this year. Everything was clearly labeled in the guidebook app. It listed all the major photo shoots that people had kind of registered with the con. Obviously, there's still informal shoots, but like the JoJo shoot, for example, I went past it. Clearly organized space. I went to the Adventure Zone shoot. It was in a very organized area. And I didn't go to the semi-formal ball because I'm not 12, but if you're into that sort of thing, I heard it was actually quite good. So the semi-formal ball is like, you have to be
into that sort of thing. I'm just like, you just made some creepers
you
going up
have
like,
to be dressed in like formal wear, and if you live in Boston and you're not in a hotel and you're just commuting for the day, like, I mean, it's rude. They should have let me in. I was dressed as Loki. I mean, obviously, that's formal wear.
You don't get much more
but
formal than that.
obviously, I'm wearing a giant gold crown. I'm clearly formal. But they
were you Kid Loki or were you Adult Loki? Because I think that might be two different.
Without getting too far into the dynamic, Pat, I remind you that Kid Loki is very much murdered by Adult Loki, who takes over his body. So they're kind of
that
the
feels
same
like a
person.
metaphor for puberty.
And it very much is.
right.
Speaking of just on a personal Anime Boston review, I do want to give a shout out to my friend Alexi, who gave me while I'm dressed as Loki, as the teen Loki that murdered this child self. He comes up behind me and goes, "Can I offer you an egg in this trying time?" And it's an Easter egg containing a Kid Loki keychain inside.
That's
And my
awesome.
soul left my body. And this was during AMVL, mind you. But yeah, overall, I have to
Very
say,
much
they
so.
really, the video game room was, for an anime convention that's not a dedicated video game con. Like, obviously, you can't compare this to something like a MagFest, and obviously not PAX East, which is just a gaming con. But for a lot of, like, it was a lot better, for example, like, way better than Katsukons this year, Anime Boston's game room. Really?
Because you love Katsukon.
But the game
It takes
room,
place at the Gaylord.
but it does take place at the Gaylord, but the Gaylord National. But
The National Gaylord.
The Katsukon game room doesn't have the best setup, and I felt that Anime Boston this year had a really strong setup. I never felt like it was too overcrowded. They had a really good array of games. I played it's the DC crossover one, fighting game, Injustice. Is that what it's called?
Oh,
I played that.
Injustice
it was
and
great.
Injustice 2 with its great gameplay and garbage story.
This
Looks great,
gentleman of a boy. I was very bad at the game, and he played a Swamp Thing, so that I could see him use all the cool moves that I couldn't figure out. And
my personal favorite is Batman. Or not, mind you, it's Batman. He doesn't have super strength or anything. Still, like does the juggle combo, gets him up, and then just like on his palm top computer. Hits a few buttons, waits, and then as they come down, the Batmobile drives in off screen and hits
there was
them.
a lot of great stuff. Harley's hyenas show up and knock you over and stuff. It was good.
You know
So
what?
they
You know
had
what's like?
that.
It's like the DC Comics, the current equivalent of. Do you remember that old WWF the arcade game?
Yeah,
Where, like,
WrestleMania.
everyone had like these weird powers.
Razor Boy used to hit you with the razor.
Yeah.
Bret Hart's grease from his hair used to fly out. It was horrible. Undertaker used to hit you with the tombstone.
That was fun, man. It was
Injustice is a lot like that. You got to experience this.
Yeah,
This is your
and
first time.
it was my first time ever playing
great
it,
game.
and that's something that I feel that Anime Boston did a really great job with this year. They had a really good variety of both console setup at TVs, and then they had different arcade games. They had, of course, several types of DDR. They had pop music. They had the drum game. They even had the one where you flip the table.
Oh, flip
Like,
the table.
yeah, so like they had
It's
a
called
really
Flip the Table.
they had
Get outta
a
here.
they had a really
The
nice
purpose is to flip the
array of games, and I was very impressed with how organized it seemed. Because in the past, not to besmirch them, but the game room has not been great.
I've heard stories. Yeah.
And I have to, again, overall things were really interesting this year. They had really good musical guests. One of their concerts was Flow, which is a really, really popular Japanese band. They just had a lot more content this year, it felt like, in a way that
I
wasn't.
appreciate that,
And
but-
I hate to say that I think it's because they're pulling it back a little bit from, for a couple of years, they were like, we're going to be the family con and have lots of stuff for kids. And I think they kind of realized.
Kids ruined everything.
Well, kids are horrible and ruin everything.
Not only they ruin your life,
But
they ruin
they-
your system.
But they.
I'm glad I didn't have entertainment just
The
for kids.
core
You know,
group of who attends anime conventions are like teens through just, teens and up, if you will.
Mhm.
And yeah, there's families. Yeah, they had content. They have I like to take a picture in front of it every year because I'm short, but they have a room called the Chibi Zone, which is like the kids' room. I like to stand near the sign and look grumpy, like, oh, I'm a chibi. But they.
There's no chibi. There's no grumpy chibis. That's not a thing.
Well, she can be.
You're
if
not
she
5
wants.
feet tall, so.
Look.
But they.
That's true, Pat. You know.
They had a lot more content overall that was interesting. And it felt a lot less like in past years. While they do have a lot of very interesting new anime premieres, if you're in the dealer's room, they have big posters for like up and coming shows, new content, and it's really great. But the last couple of years, it really felt like they were like, here's a screening of a thing, here's a panel that's really just selling you a new anime, and it felt less fan motivated. And this year, it felt a lot richer in fan content and content that was more interesting to people that, can wipe their own butts.
Okay, I can dig that, because one of the things that really bugs me about a lot of cons, I don't go to that many, but one of the reasons I don't go to that many is when I went for the first time, it always felt like one big commercial for various things. It lost touch with the actual medium that I was there to see, and I didn't feel at home. I didn't feel
You
comfortable.
actually felt that money
I felt-
affected the content?
I know.
I'm
Part of it is
I'm
that
shocking,
these
right?
How
cons,
could
I
that
mean,
happen?
No,
something that's really important to address, though, is that they are sponsored by, for example, Crunchyroll is a major sponsor of Anime Boston. And I feel that they did present it where if you wanted to go to the, spring anime lineup screening, you could, but there were other content provided. Like, they had a whole thing this year because of the anniversary of Sailor Moon. They had a really great thing where they had a whole Sailor Moon costume competition, and a lot of the Sailor Moon voice actors were there.
Nice.
And it just felt much more engaging to be there, where I spent a lot less time kind of twiddling my thumbs like, oh, there's nothing from 2 o'clock to 10 o'clock. And it felt like a really, like they listened to feedback, because I know a lot of people had these same difficulties that I had, especially, again, the past few years, where it felt, I don't want to say too focused on family, because that's not necessarily a negative, but you need to look at your core audience and have engaging things happening. And it felt like there was more to do. And one of the drawbacks, though, of Anime Boston is because it's located in the Hines, where the two dinguses showed up to the Pokemon tournament with their guns.
those clowns.
Now you have to go through a really strict security system featuring metal detectors. And I understand
I'm okay with that
it.
as long,
It can take a really long time.
Well, as long as they use common sense, and also don't make the mistakes that some other cons in the past have made, even here, by having too few security.
Which is what I wanted to say, that they added additional checkpoints this year. There were several entrances this year that were not open in previous years. And so there was less of a bottleneck at that one main entrance. For example, during Artist Alley hours, you could enter through the second floor of the Sheridan through Artist Alley, and that entrance was usually pretty clear. There was also an entrance from, I forget the name of the side street, but if you go along the side street, I think it's where like the Summer Shack restaurant and stuff are. On the side of the Hines, they had an entrance on that side as well, so they had a lot less of the bottleneck effect that in previous years. I remember 2 years ago, people were waiting in line all the way outside. It was pouring rain, and I think that they really did sit down and listen to the feedback. So good job, Anime Boston. It was a lot better than in previous years. I look forward to see how it evolves in the future, though, because going from I've gone to Anime Boston all 16 years of its existence, and first year had 4,000 people. This year had 24,000 people.
Nice.
So
See, that's one thing I wanted to ask you about, because I know. Well, it's got to blow up, man. But Rick, you were talking about like not going to conventions because of that discrepancy.
Yeah, for me it was just more or less. I just noticed the crowd was very young, and as a 37-year-old guy,
yeah.
and I'm an anime snob. I'll admit that. Like, I'm used to the older school animes, they were a lot deeper, way more adult oriented.
And that's
Subject
something
matter
that
was
I feel
heavier.
they stepped up this year
So
and
which is
had
good.
content with that this year, especially in the evenings. And that's what I mean by
Well,
like.
you were saying that
you
the
could-
Final
yeah.
Fantasy panel. Like,
There was a
I'm
Final
a huge
Fantasy
Final
panel
Fantasy fan,
at
so I would have
midnight.
sat in that panel.
So
Ah,
there weren't necessarily.
midnight?
It was at midnight.
Nice.
Yeah.
Something to do at midnight.
But that's
So
what
they
I'm
was
saying,
drinking.
that they offered content that wasn't just
And
like,
both.
it's all well and good and funny to be like, oh, hentai panels at night. Like I ran one for 10 years.
Mm.
Like I love it. I'm not gonna pretend that I don't. But it was nice to have content that wasn't just either, edgy or anything, to have genuine content geared toward people 25 and older.
Yeah,
And it was really cool.
and to
be
have
around
it at that time you specify. You
Yeah.
said it was at midnight,
at
so
midnight.
that sort of that's like a filter for younger people. They're already gone.
Yep,
the
and it was
parents
an
took them
18+
home,
panel
so
that they could discuss things in
Wow,
more
yeah.
detail. And it
You're able
was-
to get into it on a more adult level. So, I mean,
Yep.
you talking about Final Fantasy at midnight, the conversation's going to immediately go towards a different direction.
Yep.
Versus when it's like 12 and 13-year-olds there who are
And
going to act
I
like.
think they did a real
Right,
good job of
questions.
it this year.
And-
Vagina.
and it also sadly it also fits the demographic, right? So Final Fantasy 18 and up. If it was like Minecraft panel, then obviously not 18
Yeah,
and
no,
up.
but I think that's what I mean. But like, I feel like they did a good job filtering content this year. Someone that I've been on many panels. I used to be on the Sailor Moon panel for also 10, almost 15 years. I was on the Sailor Moon panel, and I think that they've done a very good job of offering content to all levels in a way that they seem to pull back from in other years. Like, because again, you obviously can't. It's not a 24-hour convention just by nature of the Heinz shuts down, so you can't do things like Katsucon, where again I used to run a hentai panel 2 a.m. at Katsucon. I did that more than once, and so it didn't have that. You can't do 24-hour content, but it felt nice that it's 11 o'clock at night. At least you could go to there was a really cool nostalgic anime, or there was a they have things like Anime That Time Forgot, so it's all the weird stuff from the 70s, and so they had a lot of really
I would have enjoyed
good
that.
content. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There was stuff that, yeah, if you could
Lot
be
of
16 and
pompadours.
go to that and find out some cool stuff and enjoy, but it was certainly an older crowd, and it didn't feel as alienating to be a fan in your 30s at an anime con, where sometimes, and then of course 17, 12-year-old homestucks run by on leashes, but
I'm going to put you to bed now, son. I have to go pretend to be Sephiroth.
somewhere out there, baby Sephiroth is
Thank
out there.
Yo, Daddy, why is Mama dressed like Shin Chan?
She don't.
I will end my Anime Boston review with an apology to anyone that was there. I forget what year it was, maybe 5, 6 years ago, when I got kicked out of the Shin-Chan screening. I apparently was yelling and kicked over the projector at the Shin-Chan screening.
Apparently, you were.
Allegedly.
That is
Allegedly.
hilarious.
So I'm
What
so
happened
sorry to
was-
you, Anime Boston, and shout out to all my friends that were there to witness me getting kicked out of Shin-Chan. That for years they would just still whisper at me, go, shh, Shin-Chan.
And if somebody has a flip
I
phone
don't
for
believe
back
it.
then,
If someone has a
or a
flip phone,
sidekick who recorded that,
The
please
Motorola
send
Razor
it.
back then
Video's
had
gonna
some
be all
serious.
Please
pixelated.
send that to the Geek Down.
A real bad fuzzy video.
Hey man, I got an old Motorola that's got a full 40 seconds of video before my memory ran
my
out.
rampage on the Shin-Chan.
Whatever.
Was that KRS while making his pitch piece?
Stop
Oh
right
my
now. Let's
God.
not do that. All right, so that was Anime
Yeah,
Boston
big- they did a good
2018.
job.
Want to
They did a
thank
good
Mr.
job.
That's
Cobb,
awesome.
who unfortunately will not be able to join us for the PAX East's commentary, which we will do just 7 short days from now. Well, 8 short days from now. So I want to give you one of these real quick. All right, and mind you all to check that out. And now I want to kick it over
Hyperpack.
to Black Adam Willis. Oh, heck, he's gonna be the shiz. Black Adam Willis, man, you, my friend, got to see the cinema masterpiece.
So hyped for this.
I like how quietly you bring it up like it's gonna be this big
it needs
exciting
to be,
review.
sir.
Better be good,
Give it
Blackie.
its props, the prestige, if you will.
Cinema masterpiece.
We're talking, of course, about Game Over,
Game
Man.
Over Man!
The new movie by.
Well, before we go, can I at least give the intro of what this movie's about?
I think you
Please
should.
do, sir, but you got to make it dramatic, my friend.
All 3 lines, actually all 1 line, it's 1 sentence. Wow. All right.
That's a one sentence review.
3 zeros try to become heroes when gunmen take hostage at a star-studded party
It's real,
inside a fantasy Los Angeles hotel.
raw,
This is
it?
yeah, okay, so
That's the plot.
if you've watched what's the show, Workaholics, yeah.
Yes.
So these guys take on Die Hard. So this is Die Hard if you're stupid. That's exactly what
Tell
it
us
is.
how you really feel.
He's
It
not
is.
wrong.
It's
You're
workaholics
not wrong.
meshed with Die Hard. Is really what it is.
It's workaholics, which is they take that same type of really juvenile humor,
Mm-hmm.
which can be like incredibly graphic, and then they add like really obscene violence to this.
Yes.
And like the uninhibitedness of Netflix, and they make that they try to stretch it out to 90 minutes. And so they're trapped in this hotel because they're 3 housekeepers, and they're trying to pitch their ideas and try to make $1 million off of all these really, really dumb things. And they discover that somebody's called the Bay is coming to the hotel.
He's a
and
YouTube
he's going to
star.
hold this event there, and so they're going to pitch one of their $1 million ideas to this man while he shows up. And so as they do that, the hotel gets taken over by these terrorists who are going to try to blackmail this guy for all this money. And the movie takes off from there, and they get trapped in the middle of it, basically like a Die Hard situation.
Yep.
However, this is the most juvenile, disgusting,
Yes, it is.
retarded, this awful thing I've ever seen.
I
And
think
when
you
I
might
brought
be
it
a
up
little
last,
hard on this. It's a,
you think so?
It's a not good
It's
movie, but
awful.
dude, I laughed so hard
Oh,
so
man,
many
'cause I
times at
didn't.
this.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
hard.
lie, it took me a second. Originally, like I think a couple of us said it already. I only made it through the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, I
I'm not
watched
gonna lie.
20 whole minutes.
I made it. I watched the whole thing.
Mhm.
I had to force myself to make it through past 20 minutes, and I'm not gonna lie, I was watching this and in tears. It was just some parts just like, oh my god, like I can't believe you went there. And it's like you said, it's very juvenile. And it's, it's one of those sort of things
Well,
you
some
kind
of
of
it's
jokingly
really dumb.
say.
Then it gets really graphic
It is
too.
really
Like I'm
graphic.
talking
So many
about.
dicks.
It's just like
Why is there so
it's
many
like all of a
dicks?
sudden it's like they're it's like
This movie is
violence, and then it's like
wall penis. I didn't see that coming at all.
it's like where the guys that are coming to kill you all of a sudden have this gay orgy on the bed
Yeah.
next
Hold
to
on,
you. You know what I
where did
mean?
this come from?
And then all of a sudden, like it gets really graphically violent again, and then it goes
Yeah.
back. It's just like so you're like, where's this coming from? What's it trying to
Exactly.
do? You know what I mean? And it
Look,
just
if I
shows
want
like
that content, I'll go to Tumblr.
right, you know exactly. So it's
Well
just like
said.
there's no straightforward tone to this. It really just seems like they're just throwing the kitchen sink
They
at this
are,
movie
they
to
are.
try to be funny.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, it's just like
it was
well,
funny.
to me, it's not. It's just,
But
it just seems like you're
okay,
stretching
I
it, man.
tried.
Like
If
that
I
you don't
may-
have a clear vision. And like, okay,
All right,
yeah.
if I can put it in perspective, it took me a minute to realize. Yeah, I'm laughing at this, but I'm also like disgusted. But then it
Yeah,
dawns on
pretty
me
much.
why I find this funny. And you may not disagree, but this is the terms that the perspective that I took on it. This is the modern evolution, sad to say, of Three Stooges style humor, where every gag
Yeah.
was them getting hurt,
I
every
agree.
gag was someone getting cut, someone getting hit on the head. Then it evolves to we're not in like the Three Stooges was like the 40s and stuff. We're not in the era where seeing a wealthy dowager get a pie in the face is that hilarious
Yeah,
now.
it is.
We are in the.
What are you talking about?
You're right. I'm sorry. In that
Sign me
particular
up.
perspective, anytime a wealthy dowager gets
It's
nailed
done
in the face with a
appropriate.
pie,
Right?
Well, it's like
he chuckles and soup.
it's three-
But this is folks getting kicked in the chest and he sits on the ground.
No.
And then someone
he
gets
Charlie
kicked in the
Murphy
ding
kicked
ding.
him in the chest. Is what he
He-
did.
I
He
will
did.
laugh at
That's-
Skintendo. The idea of Skintendo is funny.
They have things called Nintendo.
Which is the money idea, but basically these 3 characters. One of them is the idea man who has all these horrible ideas. He's like kind of the
It's Adam-
the
was Adam
rabble-rouser
Devine?
and everything
Yeah.
like that.
Mhm.
Or also
The other one
Mo.
is the drug addict. You know what I mean? Who can't stop doing drugs even though his friend is the one who sells him
Was
the
it
drugs,
Andrews
part
Holm?
of the group.
Yeah.
the curly.
The third one is
Was it
a
Blake
closet
Anderson?
homosexual that
Yeah.
like can't stop giving out hints that he is in fact gay.
It is like you told us so many times when
You
you're drunk.
told us so many
Like,
times when
we
you're
already
drunk, we
know.
already know about it. Yeah.
Also
so.
the Larry Fine / Joe / Shirley Joe / Shem.
So if you want to make it
No, I can see it as all. I don't
Have
disagree with
really
you. It is a
wants to defend.
dumb as hell movie.
It's very lowbrow.
Oh,
Very,
So which
very
is what I
very
said
low
last
brow.
week. I brought it up for the movie step. I said, which as quoted by a film critic is Netflix movies have become something that you kind of have in the background. And I feel like this is a background movie that maybe if you're doing something else, you could probably watch and get something out of it. But, this is not
I can
a
see this
movie
as a
you sit
background
down
movie.
with a family
Mhm.
and sit down
I agree.
and watch.
I can
You
see.
do
No,
not
no,
wanna
you'll
do
sit
that.
down with your family.
You do
Yeah,
not
that's
wanna do
right,
that.
but
Gather the
it
kids.
just seems like something you throw on and do something else for. And like if you're gonna watch it that way, maybe I can suggest this.
Well, I can put it into
Otherwise, I'm not
perspective.
really.
This is a movie you throw on either while high,
Mhm.
while getting high, just after getting high, going from being
Yeah.
extremely drunk to, you know what? I'm going to amp this up and get high.
Yeah, but the
So
trailer,
where
the
it's
trailer
funny.
told you.
I would wet myself.
pretty
if
much.
I mean, the trailer was pretty on point, spot accurate with it. When I saw the trailer, I was like, yeah, I'll probably watch this randomly one day when I wake up from my hangover.
I'm not gonna lie.
Like,
The
do you like the show Workaholics? I mean, but like I
Pretty
felt
much.
Actually, the
I
best
will
one,
also-
they were
I did
good
see the
within
part,
that
though.
structure.
I only saw 30 minutes of it, but the part that I liked the most, Flying Lotus, which is a hip hop
Yep.
artist, got his head blown off. Fucking
Yeah.
hilarious.
That
was good.
That was more than 30 minutes, brother. You watched a good
No,
amount.
That was
listen,
pretty- that was
30
pretty
minutes. 30 minutes. Got distracted by my 3DS Metroid game, and then I came. Oh, Flying Lotus, awesome! Oh crap, he died.
You blew it.
I mean,
All right,
along those lines, though, I mean, the one thing I gotta give this movie is due for, like, man, there's a lot of cameos in here.
There was
I mean,
there was a
between
ton of
Action Bronson ate a sandwich and said, "Fuck, that's delicious."
Action Bronson, Turk, Steve-O.
Turk, you're right.
I'm
You're
just-
right. Turk from
what's her name?
You're
Jillian.
talking about Donald Faison.
I mean, I know their name, but I'm telling
black
letting
actor
people
for
know.
like 20 plus years.
I
He's
know
still
Donald
come down to
Faison,
one
you
I don't
turn.
know it, man.
Because if I say Don- if I say
And the
Don-
only reason you know him as Turk is
Clueless.
because you don't remember the name of him from New Jersey Drive. No one does.
no one does. No one
He's
does.
also in Clueless.
He's
Oh, by the way,
And the show. And the show.
and he referenced that in the movie before he got killed. He's like, "Did you say Dash number?" He got killed. And I'm like, I'm saying, like, you know what, yo, I would have
She was
killed you.
in the
That
show
would be-
too.
I would have
Yeah.
killed you if that was me. I'd be like, you know what? Give me Station Dash number. I'm not gonna kill you.
One thing I'll definitely call out on this movie for is having actors do solid performances in the stupidest roles. But Daniel Stern is an actor I've seen in
Yes.
several different
Stop
roles.
it.
He's been prestigious.
Stop
He's
it.
been comedic. Daniel Stern in this movie plays the sleaziest
He does
scumbag.
very well.
He's
very
the
well.
boss of the hotel. He runs these
Super
guys.
sleazy.
Yeah.
And then
And all I'm thinking is that this guy did the voice of the Wonder Years, man. And I'm waiting for that voice. Is like, oh, and then I had that moment, you know.
You know what, he was Dilbert.
And then when he walked
Wait.
away,
He
I
was
was
the
sad.
voice of Dilbert. He was the lovable.
Celtic
Mara.
pride. We got a Boston connection. He's the man.
I'm
you
sorry. The
know?
only thing I thought about was him getting an iron to the face. That's all. Every time you look at me, like, you got an iron to the
Yeah.
face, bro. In Home
No, I
Alone.
picture him in Breaking Away, way back in the day.
You don't remember him in Rookie of the Year, pitching the salt, pitching the field with salt.
Hot ice. Hot ice. Yeah. We all got Daniel Stern references. But
Yes,
anyway, he's
and-
in this,
and
and,
in
you're,
this
you're
you get to see him
sad.
get his
I
dick
was
cut
sad.
off. That is the caliber of picture we're
Yes.
talking to here.
Yes.
I
Uh-oh. What are you going to give it, P? We
You
going to
know
give
what?
it, P?
Adam,
down.
you are gonna hate me for this
No,
so
you're not.
hard.
No, you're not.
I gotta give this a thumbs up. This movie was so
we knew
damn
it.
funny. Now, mind you, it's you know you're not going in to see Schindler's List, but the fact that I
You sure?
I laughed so hard at this, and I thought Workaholics is over. I'm tired of this
Game
type
over,
of comedy.
man. Not Schindler's List. That's the screen grab.
Oh,
yeah.
Dude, I'll turn up a bit now just on the memory. I'm turning up a bit, and the thing is, we've said a lot of like ridiculous parts, but there is so much more that is just outright stupid. But I laughed so much in this.
The scene where Bay goes on the guy.
Which guy?
Toss a salad.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, it's also a movie that
You
pulls
think you're
no
gonna
punches.
embarrass me? All right, I laughed
It's
at
a movie
that.
that-
'Cause that was
All right, let
funny.
me ask you about that character because I thought just on the way that was performed and the
Mhm.
character type, did anyone else think that was probably before like last November gonna be Aziz Ansari?
Yes, I
Before
exactly
Aziz-
what I
before Aziz
thought.
blew up, you mean?
No, before Aziz's
Situation
in
got
the
came
media.
up.
Yeah, because that definitely that was definitely Aziz Ansari type,
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
which is kind of a bummer.
But
man.
it's
I
just
would've
like
liked
it's
to have-
those celebrity like Instagram personalities.
I mean,
and
that's
stuff.
exactly
like,
what
no
he
one
was.
knows them, but they know them,
YouTuber,
you know what I
you
mean?
know.
Yeah, it's
And then
like,
he turned out to be a different type of person at the end. I was throwing a curve.
Yeah.
I liked it. Also another random. There's just so many cameos. I almost gave one away. Let me stop right there and try
So
to
it keeps the
some.
movie alive.
The cameos
Some way
make
to
this. The
sell it.
comedy makes
It really
this the
does.
stupid comedy, but somehow it works. If they dare do a sequel, though, yeah, no, it's
Game
don't
over,
even bother.
yeah,
yeah.
man.
But I actually have to give this. I'm so begrudgingly because I hate to give stupid movies a positive rating, but I laughed too hard for this. It knew what it was, and oh god, so many dicks. Why?
Yeah.
All right, but that I give it a thumbs up.
So,
Yeah.
mind you, this is 10% on Rotten Tomatoes, 5.5 on IMDb. You know what I mean? Like 35% on Metacritic. All right. I took notes for this because I'm a professional.
We mean so
You know what I mean? I
certified.
took some notes on this.
So JM says
Hey, with
certified
that-
fresh.
I want to see those notes.
And with that said, with the preface that you're going in here,
You sure those notes aren't recipes for the sandwich you were making while watching the movie? I just wanted to make sure.
good call. I mean,
Smash
but-
the bologna.
Brand of
Garlic
fabric
spread,
softener.
garlic spread on a little bit
fry
of
my
roast.
bologna, flip it over when it bubbles up. No, but seriously, given what it is, if you like Workaholics and you like parodies, because it's clearly a parody of Die Hard, yeah, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. I mean, it's nothing but raw, juvenile comedy that I most likely would not have watched if this wasn't assigned. I'm not gonna lie, but after watching, I'm like, you know what? It is what it is.
You're welcome.
No, I want to say
Yeah.
that. It's just not
Yeah,
really.
you're
It was more or
welcome.
less
I hope you share this with the
thanks
wife.
for the okay assignment, P. Appreciate it.
I hope you share this with the wife.
Man.
If you're a millennial, you'll enjoy it.
Well said. Well said.
That's
All right.
yeah. Because
Okay, Adam,
I'm a
get
millennial.
your hate on.
No,
Give
it just seems geared towards the millennial
It
crowd.
really is.
That's all it is.
I mean, the same sort of
It's the
slapstick
generation.
comedy that Pat was talking about, like that sort of evolution, of lack of a better term, of
it's
the
a
Three Stooges.
de-evolution, my friend.
Honestly,
A de-evolution.
Okay, I have to ask. Okay, this
Here's a
movie
point.
or Encino Man?
Encino Man.
Encino
Man. Encino Man.
That's
Absolutely.
That's not fair.
All right, because
Encino Man
They
is
took
a- is a
something topical,
criterion.
like going through the
Encino Man
7-Eleven and
is a
going like, this is for
criterion.
basic food groups.
Encino Man is a
Or
Criterion
not.
Collection classic. How dare you?
But hold up, the one thing I do want to mention though, the one thing I gotta mention, and
You went
a
to
tear came to my eye when I saw this part because Pat always brings this up, and he hasn't brought it up recently in the show. When they weekend at Bernie's, that dude. Yeah, when they weekend at Bernie's, that dude. I was like,
You went to Mega Mountain without you crazy? Yeah, they're right in reverse. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, so much of it was just. stupid and
Anyways,
beautiful. Adam, your official rating, sir.
My official rating, obviously, a thumbs down. Come on, let's get
Thumbs
serious,
down,
guys.
thumbs
Let's be honest. You might have watched this.
Put the
and-
thumb down on me,
and,
Joe.
Like
had a
Adam
few
was
laughs,
3.25 stars.
But as a movie, let's go. Let's not stop saying like, well, the movie is what it was. It wasn't Schindler's List. It doesn't have to be Schindler's List to give it a freaking thumbs up. It's still a bad movie. It's not well made. It's a knockoff of a well-known property done poorly. It's bad, right? You can laugh at it and it still be bad. You just have to call it bad. Okay?
Bad,
It's
but
still
it's
bad.
I mean, look
At
at
the
the
end
source.
of the day, it's okay to like bad things, but you still
That's
have
a
to
good
call
point.
them bad. Folks,
Yeah.
let's trick ourselves. We can still like bad things. They're still bad.
Absolutely. I mean, it deserves its 10%.
Wait,
I'm not gonna lie to you.
But at the end of the day, this movie was not funny to me. It was like a knockoff. It's like two guys that were like popular for the show they did, given all the power in the world to do
Yeah.
a movie,
Yeah.
and then they
Yeah.
kind of tripped over their own feet because they realized they had to stretch it out over 90 minutes. They didn't know
yeah,
how.
you're right.
So this
You're right.
is what happened. You know what I
You know what
mean?
this is?
Doesn't mean I'm going to write them off. If they want to come back and do something else, I might be interested. However, this one, I didn't really follow it. I'm
You're
giving it a thumbs down.
I mean, I'm giving them thumbs up, but I'm not even willing to follow it
Adam
again.
sounds like some old groggy boomer who's like, "Damn millennials, I'm tired of your crap."
These
You know
kids
what's
with their
wrong with
bad
the country.
movies and staying on my lawn. I just want to call out real quick this dude Steve Howie, because I haven't seen him in much, but everything else I've seen him in has been things like Reba, the sitcom,
Oh, yeah.
which is
Pat's favorite show, Reba.
which is
I
like
know
really-
everybody's laughing like you watch
which is
Reba.
No,
like-
Neil
it's
McDonough's
like-
in this thing.
Yes, he is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But-
he
but
did
he's-
Ravenous too.
yes he did. He
Now
was
that's
Ravenous.
a
He
that's
was.
a
if
choice,
anyone's
though.
seen
Ravenous
Red,
is good.
Yes,
or
I see
yeah,
Red.
the light skin,
Red was
the,
good.
the,
Yes,
the
it
light I
That
do.
is so funny.
It's the
But I
best
call
movie of all
out
time.
Steve Howe because stuff like Reba is religious inspired sitcoms, and then his role in this was so not religious at
Mhm.
all.
He has
I like
range.
it was
subverting
just-
those roles. I mean, I'm a fan of that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like a guy is, I'm known for this, and I'm gonna go completely opposite. And I'll give him
Indeed.
that for sure.
Mhm.
However, as
Yeah,
a whole,
okay, no, you gotta get that final hate in.
However, no, I'm
You
not
got
getting
final hit
that.
of venom out.
I'm just gonna be
Final
honest. Like, however, this movie didn't appeal to me. I have to be honest. Like, this is not my thing.
No,
You know
I'm-
what?
I'm
They're
not
showing
faulting
the
you. I'm
movie
not faulting
Lincoln on Netflix. You want to go watch a good movie?
God.
Go ahead and watch that. You know what I mean? They got plenty of good stuff on there.
You heard the
Game
man.
over, man.
You heard the man.
Save
If
your
you want,
night
if you want a good movie, go watch Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
That
now,
is a good movie.
kick it over.
Actually, it is a
I
really good
love
movie.
that
I like
movie.
it too. I like it too.
All right. It was a good
I
picture.
legit
It was
had
good.
students.
It was good.
I legit had students
Fun,
trying to
man.
quote me Lincoln Vampire Hunter as like history. I'm like, no, bro, you watched the wrong Lincoln. That is not. No, take this essay back. This is not good.
Like, look here, teach. The fine art of spinning the axe is a historical institution.
He's like, because Lincoln had that axe, right? He was just like, whoa, pause,
And then-
off the
and
brakes.
then he
This is
saved
wrong on so
Harriet
many
Tubman.
levels.
I love how it's a goofy ass movie where you see like this dude killing vampires. Yet for like a solid 10 minutes, you get to watch him be the president and do like paperwork.
I think that's how they got. That's how my students got. Well, like, yeah, hold up. Oh, yeah, Abraham Lincoln.
Paper cuts cut deep. Like, yeah.
All right. Now.
I love how you just said he had to throw in the final hate. It's not like a Final Fantasy limit break.
He
It's like final hate.
Okay. Hey, we've said all we can about Game Over, man. Now, Black Adam Willis, finish him.
He did up, down, fireball of hate.
All right. Now, I'm gonna do a thing real quick, if you'll excuse me. The year is 24. Is it 24?
2020,
Alright.
2045.
Okay, I
It's in
screwed
there.
it up already.
2045.
Screwed it up already. The year is
redo.
no. You know what? No. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kick it over to the man who came so prepared. He is actively wearing an IOI hat.
Yes.
JM the Thriller Priest. Give us the lowdown on what is Ready Player One.
All right, Ready Player One. I don't have the official description in front of me, but hey, I'm giving it
Like
down
I said,
dirty.
I'm gonna give you the. Okay.
I'm giving it down and dirty.
All
So
right.
Ready Player One is a dystopian future movie,
In the dystopian
just highlighting the fact that America's in a pretty crummy way,
America's
and-
down the tubes.
and now everybody's
Nice.
just jumping deep into the Oasis, a virtual reality
Balls.
distraction.
In the Oasis.
A virtual reality distraction that is helping individuals to be able
The
to,
Gallagher brothers run the world.
to be.
Wait, sorry, wrong kind of Oasis. Wrong Oasis, my
I
bad.
was gonna keep walking with you.
And the Wonder Wall keeps getting bigger and bigger.
and they fight each other.
Don't
The
look
world-
back in anger when
The
you
world
go.
is falling under a champagne supernova.
Hey, Lila, watch out. Yeah.
It's okay, because somewhere you will find me. Company for
Oh, yo, so this is based off the book by Ernest Cline, highlighting America's crummy situation while people are escaping through the Oasis virtual reality multiplayer game, effectively, in which individuals are locked in, and their goal is to be able to collect 3 keys in order for them to unlock the fortune of James Holliday, who was the one who created the Oasis, who died. He left, $500 billion in there, so you got to go use all these different 80s trivia in order for you to be able to get to this Easter egg. This movie is like a
80s
nerd's dream.
Absolutely.
That was written back in 2011 is when the book was written.
Was it?
Was it a little
no, earlier. Because
It's
I remember
It's
I
definitely older than that.
the audiobook
Yeah.
was available in 2006. I can at least
Yeah,
verify
Oh, yeah,
that.
you're right.
It's
So-
quite
so
a
a
bit.
minute
It's
ago,
quite
so-
a bit.
Actually, what, they like 04 probably? I mean, it was a minute ago when this book was written. So folks
Sometime
So my-
after 1982.
So my question is,
So the kicker is, hold on a second. So the kicker is, Warner actually picked it up, I think, in 2011. So Warner actually had the rights to it,
Okay.
and they were trying to figure out who was going to be able to direct it. And of course, Spielberg's one who directs it. And I think it's a damn good movie.
This is
This
one of
is
his-
great.
this
But
is-
Adam's going
I-
to say something
well,
before
well,
I stopped you there.
Well, hold on a second. Okay, go ahead.
no, I was just asking because all the references in this movie, and when you see the previews and everything, and obviously when you see the movie, you see like references to everything 80s. How did they get the rights to all this stuff?
Well, I think having Spielberg behind it, I'm glad
Right, but like I'm
having
like you got to
Spielberg behind it is one
pay
of the-
like
It's
a lot of
it's
things.
legit
Like,
took
you know what I
3
mean?
years
Like,
to get it.
how much did this movie cost, and how
It's-
much do you have to pay
Well,
to?
here's
get
one thing
the
that I
licenses?
noticed: a lot of this movie was essentially a love letter to the works of Steven Spielberg, and I think
Yeah.
that really
Well,
pushed.
no one
their
captures the
clout.
imagination.
Brother, you
of,
gonna
like,
tell
the
me-
teen-
No, I'm telling you, because
All right.
Spielberg went out of his way to try to prevent that from happening as much, because the book is chock full of Spielberg.
The book absolutely is, but also the book has like 10 pages devoted to appreciation of like Chicago and Rush. You know, so I mean, the book is all over the place.
It's got good
They
taste,
did a
doesn't
good
it?
job.
Exactly. Tom
Did a
Sawyer,
good
come
job
on,
of
Neil
condensing
Peart.
it down. You know, no, I would have liked to have heard more Dan Henley referenced. I'm just saying, you need to take a ride
Done.
All right. on heavy metal.
Dan.
Don Henley?
Done.
Did I
My
say Dan?
favorite,
Yes, you
Daniel
did.
Oh,
Henley.
damn, my bad.
Look at you, look at you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Maybe you got your Van
Millennial have to
Halen
correct
on.
you.
Look, I'm sorry.
When Eddie introduced
Look, it's
synthesizer.
IOI faking the funk has got me all.
I'm sorry. What she broke up the band eventually, but go ahead.
Pac-Man fever going on. Okay, go ahead, Yoko. Run for us. What's up?
You a mess. All right, so effectively, I thought the movie was great. It's a great interpretation of the book. They did the best they possibly can because the book is like over 300 pages.
The book is long. The book is thorough too. Non-stop
It
references.
is so intense. I mean, I went through the book twice. I was like, yeah, I don't think I'd do it one more time because it's so much into it.
Yeah, I'm impressed you did.
I mean, it's a great book. I like it.
I liked it, but I couldn't go back to it.
I had to, man, because I mean, it's a lot, and also I wanted to make sure I'm professional. Compare the differences between the book and the movie.
Rubbing that in. You know what?
You're not professional.
I will take that because your method of mocking is to do better. And I like and will exploit that to the fullest.
Well, thank you.
All right,
sir.
now to those of us who didn't read the book, you jive suckers, what did y'all think?
I read the book. That's why I didn't see
I loved
the
it so
movie.
much. I had to go buy the book.
Okay.
I went straight. I
Wow.
saw it again. We saw
The
it
movie
Tuesday.
inspired you to buy the book?
Yeah.
Which is
What a great,
interesting.
what a great movie, by the way.
Because
You know,
we
that's
watched
the
the
case.
screening and he told me that some of the stuff was done halfway, like the first key wasn't found the way it was in the movie.
No,
Like,
they
it wasn't
changed a
book.
lot.
So
They changed a lot.
I'm just interested to see how the book interprets everything. But the references were crazy. And I had to watch it. I watched it again that Saturday with my kid, and I'm just sitting there like,
Honestly, it's
Battletoads, Spartans, Gundam Wing, like dude,
see that's it. It's
ridiculous.
made for you. So, but
You know what I
anytime no matter what it is, anytime a movie that can make you inspires you to go like, let me go buy this book. Like I think the movie does well.
Yeah,
You
it
know
did
what I
good.
mean?
It's
It's
phenomenal.
few and far between. You know what I mean?
Well, so that thing-
But I'm not gonna say and tell you it was Spielberg's best work.
Oh no,
You know what I
not at
mean?
all. But I think Spielberg did a great
Spielberg
job.
made E.T. Like you're not gonna beat that. Like
I mean, he did Color
you know
Purple.
what I mean?
I mean, that's it's a great movie, great book. But any of it, but it's intense. I mean, Spielberg got rage. But I mean, it's the
And when he referenced Color Purple in this, I was damn surprised.
when I saw Mister come out.
No, the best
Movie right
reference was
now.
Goldie. Remember that? We both saw the poster of Goldie.
We saw
in the movie.
Goldie. Like,
Yeah.
Goldie Wilson.
All right, I want to point out something. Now, mind you, we are referencing a lot of the stuff that you'd expect to see, classic stuff, but they did a good job, a really good job, I think, of updating this too. In the book,
I agree.
a lot of the references kind of peter out around maybe 95, the mid 90s there,
Yes.
and this did a
Which
great
for
job.
us is in that sweet spot. But anybody newer probably.
Yeah,
would be
anybody
like,
who knew would be like, this is all old stuff. It's like reading Catcher in the Rye in our generation. It's like it was a big thing like previous generations. To us, it's just a book. You know, they did a good. I mean, Overwatch is in this.
Yep.
You know, Overwatch references,
Halo references.
Halo references. I really appreciate that they acknowledge. Yes, this has all this reference material, but we also have to make it more palatable to fans. Also, I appreciate that it was done well because a lot of movies have tried to update the source material, and they've done such crappy jobs of it. It's been embarrassing. And this one, I think, is one where they paid more attention. And I don't know if that's having Spielberg behind it. I don't know if it's just having a stronger base or that their target audience would be so discerning.
I mean, it's a PG-13 movie, so you know where Spielberg's going with it. A. I think B. You had Klein there at the table with him. I mean, Spielberg was destined trying to make sure that it wasn't a love letter to himself, to the point where he didn't even want to have the DeLorean in there. I mean, you see the promotion material, DeLorean's in there. And Klein had to say, listen, man, you got to have the DeLorean in there. First off, this is my favorite vehicle, and I specifically want this in there.
Well,
and the
who's
only reason...
who's connected more to the youth than Spielberg? Honestly, like that, like when we were kids, like who captured the imagination more than like Steven Spielberg?
You know, he's not wrong. The choices for us would have been, just considering our specific generation, who we are, would have been either Spielberg or Scorsese. And Martin Scorsese's Ready Player One may have been a bit much, I think.
No, I
a little more violent.
You'd wanna see
Sure,
it.
but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like
I don't
you
think I
think
would've
of
took my
E.T.,
kids to
you
it.
think of Hook, you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
think these movies with kids is like, that is my
Yes.
childhood. You know what
Yes.
I mean? There's so many movies, it's like that boyhood wonder, you know what I mean? Like, it's always like there's a missing father or something like that.
Yeah.
There's something like childhood, something hinging the main
Yep.
character, something like that, that you feel. And it's like no one ever tapped into that better than Spielberg. So for an 80s reference person, you know what I mean? Like, who are you going to get that's better?
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I mean?
Quentin Tarantino. The movie starts off, Parsifal loses his arm.
Someone's getting their ear cut off in the background. Yeah. Some great
You see
70s song
H
playing,
behind the door, shivering.
Yeah,
Scene opens. Percival walks to the door. You damn
The final battle is set to Stuck in the Middle with you.
I don't know if I can say that word
Stuck
on
in
live,
the
man,
middle
so
of
I'm just gonna leave it there.
But no one captures the imagination.
I mean, what I do
want
want to bring the dark side to this. I mean, there's folks who are harshly criticizing the movie and what the movie did or didn't do. One of the things that was up front in the book was speaking about H's race and sexuality, and that was incredibly glossed over in this movie.
I did notice that. And we mentioned it at the time because that bugged me.
I mean, it bugged me too, but I'm also looking at
The character casted for the role,
and I thought I was like, you know what,
made up for that.
I thought that was the case too. I was like, you kind of went about it a roundabout sort of way by casting on Lena Waithe in that particular role. Okay, fine, I hear you, but the fact that it wasn't specifically stated as it was stated in the book, I definitely see why that rubbed some folks the wrong way. I mean,
parts of it were given like Cliff's Notes. Because that was a big reveal in the book.
It was
But
huge.
I think because we're familiar with it in the book, we know how deep it was there versus had someone gone in without that foreknowledge and just seen the scene, they'd have been like, oh, I see they're trying to cover this. They're doing kind of a half-assed job of it, but at least they're there. Moving on. Because that's pretty much how the movie approached it, and having the background information of, no, the book, it was actually a thing, and got, I think, the respect that reveal would have deserved. That's
I thought so too.
I think Mix disagrees there.
I
snickering
really,
off.
I absolutely hate this book, and I'm just staying. I don't want to yuck y'all's yum.
No.
I did not see this movie. I hate the book. I've read the book in full. I have a lot of issues with it, but I know that everybody's like having a real good time, and that's okay. I don't have to like what y'all like. I don't have to like it.
What do you dislike about it? Like, what's your main, what's the main thing?
The main thing is that it's yet another example of this like not just cultural. Well, okay, I can get to the cultural appropriation because all of the Japanese characters and usage of things it's just. It goes beyond cliche to being really just insulting in a way that, as a reader, as someone that is a very big fan of Japanese pop culture, obviously, I personally am not a Japanese person, so I cannot speak to it on that level. But it just felt gross, and then the female characters. The main female character is
horrible in the book.
Oh my god!
Horrible.
And again, I'm not speaking to the film. I want to make that very clear. I did not see this film because.
But no, your opinion is valid.
But
I know.
she's just a trope. She's just there to further the plot. She's there to be that basically like I'm gonna get the girl, and the nerd guy never gets the girl. But if I power up enough, I'm gonna get the girl.
She's the princess in another castle.
Yeah, and again, this again, I can't speak to the movie. But it turned me off from this media so much that I had no interest in seeing the movie.
And I think Spielberg tried to answer that by...
Which sounds great. That sounds great to hear.
Trying to empower her. Because, I mean, in the book, you're absolutely right. I agree with you 100%. That the whole story is driven by him. It's him doing everything, which is very different in the movie. Because in the movie, you see all the things that he achieved in the book distributed out to everybody else. So everything you saw in the movie in terms of what Artemis did, what H did, he did all that stuff in the book. Slight spoiler for you, bro.
No,
sorry.
Right.
But I mean, it's very much driven by him. And I mean, I knew that walking into the book, that it's essentially this book by this young white guy who sees himself as the hero. And like you said, she's just another princess to save.
It's very much also draws from kind of this white perspective of anime and gaming, and it felt very, again, it just gave me like an icky feeling reading it, as someone, especially as a young feminine nerd, like having that feeling of otherness and that feeling of like, this isn't for you. And that's something that did not inspire me to go see this movie, and it's wonderful to hear that the movie doesn't have that. It's wonderful to hear that.
That is in line with a lot of the criticisms the story's gotten over the years. And the movie did its best.
I think
and
so.
I'm not defending any of that.
Oh,
Because some of it is present, but
it's wonderful for me to sit here and hear you guys say, like, the movie did better. And that's all that a movie interpretation of a book can hope to do, is if you have source material that's kind of either alienating or problematic in some way, to rise to that occasion and say, like, look, man, it's 2018, let's do better. And that's wonderful. Like, I hope that people listening or watching are like, maybe I will check it out because it does sound like it did a better job.
It did a much better job. It also did a better job of like condensing the story and try to make these things make sense.
Yeah.
But it's still getting those same criticisms, and I think a lot of them are still valid. But also keep in mind, like, it started off that original story started off as very imperfect. The
Mhm.
movie itself has done what it can, but I think it may have been SOL from the very beginning on those particular fronts.
Yeah.
I really like this picture, but I really like the way it was done and the story they presented and the things that they threw in
Mhm.
that made more sense than they would have in the book.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, you're right. The relationship between Artemis and
Percival.
and thank you, and Percival is a different take on a princess fantasy. You know, those are things you can't get around without completely changing the story. And while I'm not defending that, I do see why it was in there.
I would say in the book, yes. I say in the movie, no.
I see how they did empower her more,
Mhm.
but at the end of the day, it was pretty much like they were on that relationship like that.
I mean, I think they
You
did that. I think they did it to establish there is a relationship between it, but the fact that it wasn't her chasing, it wasn't dominated by her just kind of being there. It was him being weak. It was him pursuing her, but she's her own woman. She's her own woman making the decision whether or not she even wants to engage with him. At the same time, she had her own vision in mind. It wasn't that I'm chasing after the egg because the boys are chasing after the egg. It was very much I'm doing this because I see something bigger. I'm the bigger person because I see how this impacts our world at large. Whereas he was just a self-centered, weak dude in many ways, and eventually got empowered. But without a doubt, she holds this whole thing together because without her, there's no way he could have solved it.
True.
Whereas in the book, he did everything himself, and he really didn't need her or anybody.
Yeah,
honestly,
that's one thing. That's one thing that did irk me a little bit in the book. Despite the fact he was kind of a douche, he was more self-reliant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was a more capable character. Like we're more quick to jump to be on his side because it's like this is a talented dude who's just in a bad situation. He lives in the poorest part, essentially the poorest part of the world. And he's getting beaten every day by both his aunt and his yeah, you know. Well, wow, damn, all right. All right. Any of our listeners that might be in Ohio right now, the views of ravishing Rick Olive.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I'm a Patriots guy, so.
All right.
Thanks for Corey Dillon back in the day.
It's a family show. We were talking about dicks earlier. Okay, so
wall to wall.
All right,
Well
so
played,
we still have a few minutes, dude. I want to hear your opinions on some of the changes they did make because there is one scene in here that was never in the book, but I think made this movie. And I feel like you know what I'm talking about.
You're talking about the
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
the movie scene you talking about, right?
Yes.
What they call the flick sync.
When they found the second key.
Yeah, the flick sync.
That didn't happen in the
That
book,
didn't
per
happen.
se.
I mean,
There was a movie. It was
There's two different movies.
Yeah.
Very different
Very
movies.
different,
Very
very
different movies. I loved it. I was surprised that they went that route with that movie. Considering the movies they used in the book. I'm like, the movies they used in the book were, and for many ways, probably G-rated or PG-13. I mean, this was clearly a rated R movie that they used to do the flick sync, and I thought it was amazing. I thought they did the best job they could with it, because I know one of the big issues with them using the other movies that were in the book was licensing. That was a big part of it.
And
it was
this one,
it took too much time to be able to be able to CG all those other people in there, whereas all they had to do was the scene.
Yes.
For the movie they used, for the movie reference they used.
I was
in the
really
actual
hoping they'd use a little bit, considering what movie this is, they'd use a little bit of the Simpsons parody of that, because that would have made my day. But that's asking a bit much.
I almost messed around and said it. Yeah, I got you.
All right. Well, that's what made it for me. Anyone else?
Me too. Almost lost my mind when I saw that movie was the one they was going to choose. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. It caught me off guard.
My favorite line was the Tab line. When he was talking to
he's talking to him in his ear.
One in the ear, and he was just telling him like all this pop culture reference, and he's like, "Yeah, I like to drink Tab, and I like to do." I'm like, I haven't heard
to take
Tab
Tab
in like decades.
and listen to Duran.
Give me a tab. I can't give you a tab unless you order something, pal.
Like seriously, with all due respect, everybody in this room, who has drank Tab?
I did.
I've tasted it.
Yeah.
I've
Tab
tasted it at
before?
some point. That's wait.
Where can you get it? Where can I get it?
Like 20 years ago.
eBay.
eBay. They did a reboot. They did a
Yo, if you can find it on
minute
eBay
ago.
and actually like
My mom
film
loves
yourself
Tab.
drinking it, I would
Give me
love
a
to watch
tab
that.
for free.
Before the re-releases of everything, cats were getting like Crystal Pepsi off eBay.
yeah.
Cats were getting and
Ecto
these
Cooler.
older Ecto
Ecto
Cooler,
Cooler.
drinking these
I don't-
old
I
ass
don't know-
juice
I
boxes.
don't know if I would have drank
No.
Crystal Pepsi from like
I don't want to drink new
1990.
Crystal
One of my-
Pepsi.
one of my
I don't
favorite
want to drink it
ones-
when it came out.
One of my favorite ones about like 2 years before the re-release of Crystal Pepsi. This dude had a video on. He ordered some Crystal Pepsi on YouTube.
Oh, I think I
because
saw
it was
that.
meme.
I think a 20-year-old
And
dumb
he
on
did
the
a
show.
time
Like,
lapse
we can do
where-
anything.
He cracked it open and it didn't fizz naturally.
Oh man.
Cracked it open. He's like, okay, 20-year-old Crystal Pepsi. That actually tastes really good. Time lapse. 5 minutes later. Okay. That was something maybe off.
Yeah, I
5
forgot.
minutes later.
I forgot to tell you about the tape.
Hair
worm.
falls out.
His hair falls out.
It's like radioactive. With the chemo in the span of 15 minutes.
Seriously.
Oh boy.
It actually had cocaine in it.
I wonder if you
It
can get
turned
that
into
on,
crystals. Yeah.
get that on eBay.
Take that Highlander
It's classic Coke.
Classic.
Classic Coke.
Classic Coke.
Sprinkle a little Coke on it.
All right.
Take a little crack on it.
Anyway.
All right. Mix is dying for a tab right now.
Oh yeah.
All right. I do have to say I didn't expect to enjoy this and I really did.
Mhm.
I have to give it a thumbs up and
Why not?
I,
Give everything else a thumbs up.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh! Final hate.
Hey.
Finish.
As Pat drinks his drink, he
He
shows somebody standing.
I hate you. I hate you. I don't even know you. And I hate your guts.
I hope all the bad things happen in the world, nobody except
you're
you.
right, you're right.
It's a movie where you have to acknowledge a few things. Like if you complain about the CG, the entire flick takes place in a video game.
Pretty much.
So I mean that's kind of something you can't get around.
Mhm.
The 1,000-mile stairs, it's gonna happen. They're all animated. The references are wall to wall. If you think it's excessive, you're probably walking into the wrong movie. They do a lot of stuff differently, and probably a lot of things you think I would have done it this way. But you know what? Hey, suck it. You didn't make the movie. And I have my complaints. I've said a couple of them, including the absolute one that got me because it was a much better reference they could have made, and they didn't. But
I'm assuming that wasn't in the book either.
no, that was very different in the book.
Okay.
Read the book. There was so much different in the book.
So much different.
And if you're a big fan of the book, watch this, and it's going to be like a Cliff's Notes, where they change a lot of stuff, and it's much shorter. But if they had done like the book proper, this would have been like the Lord of the Rings trilogy length.
Which I will watch every day of my life.
You'll watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy length, Ready Player One. You heard it here first.
I'm ready to
Mitch
watch
McCobb
Lord of the Rings.
endorses.
No, I'm ready to watch Lord of the Rings every day.
All right, and not
Watched
everyone.
2 Towers yesterday.
All right, not everyone's a fan. It's A-OK. Black Animalists. We're gonna change your mind one day, man.
I might give it a try when it's not in theaters.
I'm on board for it. If you can do it, go ahead.
All right. Well, I've gushed about this enough. I don't know why you let me talk so long, JM.
Enthusiastic thumbs up. I mean, it's a great study of seeing how you take this book that's a cult classic that it has issues, it has some serious issues, and see someone like Spielberg try to, in many ways, rectify those issues, but at the same time, be conscious of the fact that you got younger viewers who are watching this, who may not be engaged with 80s culture. At the same time, you got to make sure you adhere to the PG-13 rating, and at the same time, make sure you get all those licensing. So it's really good to be able to see how he was able to do this. So for me, it's watching a Spielberg project is what's interesting to me about it. So I loved it. A good thumbs up.
All right.
Thumbs up for me, man. I, as somebody who's never seen the property, read the book, made me buy the books because I really want to read it and see what the differences are. But simultaneously, I enjoyed it because it just helped me connect with my kid a little more because my kid really enjoyed it. And like, I'm not lying you when I told you we went home and played Battletoads on my little
That's it.
Sega
Nice.
emulator. I was like, because they're all over the movie, and I kept saying Battletoads. He's like, what the hell is a Battletoad?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Wait. So was he like, damn, what are those? You're like, I'm gonna show you, son. You put it on. He's like, what the hell is this? Why do you hate?
No.
That
He-
game.
he-
He's
he
actually,
actually-
he's like, damn, how you
he-
give me a game that I can't beat?
He
No
enjoyed
matter how
playing
long
it with
I
me
play
for
it.
like the first 20
That's
minutes, and then he just said, hey, I gotta go back to Rainbow Six.
It's a,
I was
yeah.
like,
you can't go home again, brother. It's not his generation. No
I
one.
know.
You can't go home again.
You know what that is? That's
DL Hughley, that whole thing. Yeah,
That's the equivalent of forcing someone who spends his days playing like Counter-Strike to, hey, no, let me show you how we played back in my day. You give him a hoop with a stick to move down the
Back in my day,
So you said you.
the thing and sprint it.
Oh, you say you have a Genesis console.
It's like an emulator. I bought it.
Okay, I thought you had a console. I thought
it's
you
a
rolled up
replica model.
to
of it.
the
I have
cartridge.
one.
Your son is like, hold on, what the
It
hell?
has cartridges.
What is that? That's not
cartridges.
a
Like
disc.
if I wanted to go,
Like
I can
basketball
go out
suit?
tomorrow and buy physical cartridges and actually slide it. It looks like the old 16.
I know you're talking about. Yeah, I got that one.
Yeah.
I got that one. I know your son
I had
was
to
like,
get
hold
it.
on, what? You broke
I
it
had
out.
to get it.
Okay.
Hold, let me get
My
that
son-
rubbing
my son
alcohol.
doesn't
cube.
Blow your mind,
understand
son.
Alcohol Q-tip. That's it.
Let me go get my Game Genie to work this out, son.
That's what I'm saying.
All right. So okay. So now, hold up. Now, properly, what does this get on the Richter scale?
2 thumbs up.
All right.
I'm not gonna make that joke.
That's we're gonna let your reviews from now on the Richter scale.
I'm going up 2 thumbs up. I enjoy it.
All right. So that's Ready Player One. It's available in theaters now, starring Ty Hedgerton. I don't want to call him Joel. I don't know why. Ty Sheridan. God dang it! Looks like
He was
looks
in,
like a
his
young
first
skinny
movie
Tom
was
Hardy.
The Tree of Life, by the way, the
Skinny
Terrence Malick
Tom.
movie.
Yeah, man, that fool looks like Tom Hardy from Star Trek. Nemesis. Tell me I'm wrong.
Stop.
Ever seen Layer Cake? All right. Anyway,
You know, I keep forgetting that he was that villain.
because he's scrawny as dude.
Yeah, he looks nothing like he does now.
Absolutely not.
Wait, what?
Tom Hardy. Have you seen?
He was the Nemesis. He was the villain. He was the Romulan.
In
No.
what?
Tom Hardy was the Romulan in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. He was
Not,
the
not,
villain.
well, he was the clone. The
the
clone of
clone
Picard.
Romulan or whatever. He was.
Okay, I'm like he wasn't the main Romulan in that.
No, he was the clone of Picard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. No, he was the
Oh.
captain of the
Shinzon.
ship.
Was it Shinzon?
He was captain of the ship in that one, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
Shinzon. That was the skinny ass Tom Hardy.
Yeah, I know.
I think you.
That's
knew
why I
the
keep forgetting. Whenever I see it, I was like, damn, I
twink
forgot he
era
was.
Oh,
of
stop
Tom Hardy.
Oh, brother.
Hi, I'm
All right.
Mark
Tom
Stern.
Hardy. Wait. Well, okay. Well, I want to know officially. What
Are we talking
what is
about the
class-
twink twonk
We
Clara
have
scale?
exactly
minutes
minus
left.
2 minutes because we are over
You don't
time
want
now.
this. You don't
I
want
just want to
this.
know. He started off as a twink. What is he now?
He started off as a twink.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah,
then
twink.
he was a
He's a
twunk
He's a
when
di-
he was
he's
like
a diesel
so a
otter?
twunk
what's going on?
is like he was like a little too old to still be a twink and he was
This is
starting to
happening
get ripped so he was a twunk.
Twunk.
That now it
Not-
depends.
not a
so
twirl.
now he's on like a sliding
He went
scale. It
from twink
depends.
to a
It
twirl.
depends because like I would put him at like maybe like a if not a full bear maybe like a cub in Mad Max for
But
example.
he's not hairy.
But no man, I mean
I'm
there's
pursuing this,
different
y'all. Yes,
grades
that's
to
correct.
this.
We're asking now.
There's
He's
different
hairy?
grades to this. I mean, it depends on what he's in, because he's such a chameleon. It depends on like how
That's
beefy
true.
is he.
That's true.
Because if you're talking about Legend,
super
for
method actor.
example, I mean, we're right back into possibly like a twunk daddy.
I mean, even
scenario.
that movie Warriors when he played the MMA guy with a teacher or whatever and his brother.
Yeah, or like
yeah.
if we're
He
talking about
bulked
like
up
Bronson, if
He
we're going back
bulked
to
up so
Bronson,
ridiculous
like
for that movie.
that
Like I know he
mustache?
shot up. He had to juice.
All right.
He was juicing.
Alright,
All
No,
right.
I'm saying,
so,
and then
and
he
this
turns
has
around
been
and plays
the
the twins and he
Tom Hardy
turns
scale
down.
from
So-
twink
so
to
Tom Hardy from
twunk.
twink to
Thanks
twunk.
for listening in to the Geek Down. And,
all right. This has been the Geek Down here on.
you can email any
He didn't warn you
photos
any-
off
wait,
of
wait.
Stop it. We
off
need.
of Tom
we need.
Hardy's original
we
MySpace,
need
still
final
available
hate.
in Google.
It's still up there.
Can we get some
send
final
that
Black
to,
Adam Willis
uh,
looked down at the microphone and said, "This is
Nixon
my
guy.
life."
Tom Hardy ain't crap, man.
Oh, stop it.
Final
You-
hate.
you-
Oh!
You love Tom Hardy.
Oh!
All right, this has been the Geek Down here on WEMF Radio. I want to thank you all for joining us in the house. I want to thank J.M. the Thriller Priest.
Peace,
I
peace.
want to thank Mix Macabre.
Please look up Tom Hardy's MySpace photos.
I want to thank Black Adam Willis.
User.
I want to thank Ravishing Rick.
Ravishing Rick Rollins.
Ravishing Rick Olive.
I want to thank Rick the Scale, Rick Olive.
Rick the Scale.
Rick the Scale.
On the Rick the Scale thumbs down.
Oh man, he goes home to his wife and Rick's the Scale. I don't know.
All
All right.
right.
And I want to thank Just Johnny.
Yo.
I'm sorry for that lead-in.
I was gonna call you tonight, like, damn it, Pat.
Why you talking about me on the radio?
All right, I want to thank you, the listeners. Oh, what is happening?
Yes.
I want to thank you, the listeners, for joining us. You can catch us every Monday nights right here on WEMFradio.com. You
God,
can
this is a
also
crazy
hit
show.
us up on Geek Down Radio. What the hell? If you heard anything tonight you want to chime in on, hit us up at geekdownradio@gmail.com. Also, you can go to geek-down.com and see all the good stuff in the archives. The Anime Boston review will be up very soon. Also, I'm not looking. Catch us on social media. You can find us on Facebook,
There's a
on
room in the
Twitter,
room.
Stop it. Go ahead, P. You got this. SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube. We are all over the mother. If you subscribe, you can catch us on a regular basis. We'll catch you all next bat time. Stop. Next Monday night, 9 p.m. Same bat time, same bat channel. But until then, be excellent to each other. Peace.
Peace.